Las Abejas as a civil society organization, as indigenous organizations, is something that speaks a lot about the situation in Chiapas and the various colors and struggles for resistance that are happening in Chiapas, Mexico. The story of Las Abejas began in 1992. After being a Pueblos Creyentes, they transformed themselves into this civil society organization as they were marching in protest, going from the community of Sacalchen, where members of the community of Sacalchen were unjustly arrested after they rescued few wounded people that actually were gathered together to defend the rights of women land rights. And from this story on, Las Abejas have been acquiring more capacity as organizations and more competencies along with the directive and accompaniment of the Catholic Church of San Cristobal de las Casas. They also, unfortunately, were in the midst of this massacre that happened in December 22nd, 1997 in the locality of Acteal in the highlands of Chiapas, in the municipality of Chenaló, where 45 women and mostly women and children were massacred by the paramilitary group associated or known as the Red Masks. Within those investigations, Las Abejas also acquired more knowledge within the context of the Zapatista movement. In 1994, when the EZLN came to be known, they themselves recognized them as a sympathizer. In other words, they were struggling like many other indigenous groups, like the Chinich and others, with the same demands, basic demands of the Zapatista, but they also wanted to have a struggle in a pacifist way, in the way that they interpret also from their own religious standpoint, their faith and their beliefs to achieve change through pacifist ways. And they acquire a lot of knowledge of international communities gathering around these, until that, unknown organizations. And they start responding to the international community, saying about their own rights as indigenous people, and certainly demanding more justice because of the human rights violations occurred in the Acteal massacre. Something happened in 1998, just 1 year later, the massacre, with the accompaniment of the Fray Bartolomé de las Casas Human Rights Center and many international communities. Las Abejas encountered important challenges that they were able to overcome by giving the possibility of the refugees that were along the 3 refugee camps of Acteal, Xoyep and Sacalchen to find a new land, a new place where they would find more resources, and that's where they moved to Nuevo Gibercoch, an area that actually was able to acquire the land thanks to many international solidarity, including from Chicago, and where they were able also to live a more decent life, a life with more dignity, with more availability of water, of wood, and also they start demanding to the government to have other basic demands. Their demands for health, their demands for education and school, for decent housing, but also for electricity and other things that they themselves recognize as indigenous people have rights. So with these 3 situations of Las Abejas in Sacalchen, the foundation, in Acteal with the massacre, and in Nuevo Gibercoch, the Retornados, we have 3 expressions of the same kind of movement, the same kind of groups of indigenous Maya, Tzotzil descendants that they themselves recognize as a key component of not only their own identity, but also of their way to seek more recognition for their demands as indigenous people for human rights, for dignity, and for peace and democracy.